I actually really enjoyed riding it. I think I did, as always, quite a bit of research though, and it's interesting reading people's thoughts about it, in that a lot of people question who it's for.
Yeah, I think that's a valid question though.
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean, all bikes are kind of unique to a degree. There's some that sort of tread the same sort of path. I don't really think there's anything I can massively compare that bike to. There's a few that would get a sort of mention, and I said to you before we started, something like the Triumph 1200 Scrambler or the Ducati Scrambler 1100, the bigger version. Maybe those, but I still don't even think they're close to the mark.
Is it retro?
Because
you're
I
talking
don't
about,
think it is, you know.
You're talking about retro bikes there.
That's true, yeah, no, to a degree.
So why would you...
Although I don't know whether I'd say Bonnevilles anymore are massively retro. They've become fairly mainstream.
They're retro, though. Like, retro being the design is inspired by something of the past.
Well, same goes for this then, if it's designed or inspired by the flat trackers.
Flat trackers still look like that now, though, right? Because if it was influenced by... They still use the FTR1200.
Oh, yeah,
right?
no, they still look like that, yeah. And they still do use...
So
yeah.
It's kind of weird, right? Because if that was like what flat trackers looked like 10, 20 years ago, they kind of did as well. Then you might say it's retro if flat track bikes had changed. But because they still kind of look the same, I don't know whether you would say it's a retro bike or it's just influenced by flat trackers.
I'd take your point.
But I would say outside of retro bikes, you know, essentially you've got a 1200cc naked motorcycle. So you could arguably compare it to a Ducati. It's a V-twin.
Yeah.
You could compare it to someone who's looking at stuff like the CB1000R.
Yeah, true.
What else? Even like MT-09 or MT...
I was thinking Yamaha. I mean, obviously they've gone
10.
a very unique way with the looks, certainly. But yeah, I don't know. So it sort of fits within a few different categories then. It doesn't really settle on one.
So then why would someone go for it? That's what I was kind of wondering.
Because they want to be unique, Rob.
Yeah.
Because they want to stand out from the crowd and they want to make sure that they're the only one at the cafe with that particular bike.
It's definitely, you know, it's definitely distinctive. There's nothing else like that. I mean, it's the only production tracker style bike. And when I say style, I mean like it's styled like a tracker, but it's not necessarily.
Yeah, I can't think of any other manufacturers that have decided to go the flat tracker route. There's a lot of a sort of scrambler route with bikes, and some of that is more functional than others. There's obviously sports themed. There are, you know, street naked bikes and stuff like that. But no, I don't think there is anything else from any other manufacturer that has specifically aimed at a flat tracker style or influenced bike.
But that's niche in itself, isn't it? And I suppose really what they're, you know, hoping to get people, the customers they're hoping to get rather, are like probably people who want an Indian. They bought into that brand, but they just want something a bit more sporty.
Potentially. What, like a second bike?
Or like, you know, I've already got like a... I love the Scout or the Scout Bobber, but yeah, something a bit more sporty perhaps.
Well, you want something, if you're going to have a few different bikes, you want them to do different things, right? It'd be kind of pointless having sort of like 10 bikes that all are the same sort of theme.
Yeah, exactly.
You sort of want a bike to match the environment and the mood that you're in that day. So yeah, I guess if you've got something like a cruiser...
Yeah.
And you want some, I don't even know what I'd call it. It's not, I wouldn't want to take it on a flat track. It's
a naked sports bike. That's what it is.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it seriously tears up the streets.
Yeah, it does. I mean,
properly just churns up tarmac.
Did you notice getting on it off your Moto Guzzi?
I did notice some differences.
Yeah, the pegs are high, aren't they, on the FTR?
Yeah, do you know the weird thing, actually? It wasn't so much getting off mine onto that. I don't know why it's usually this way around, but it always is. It's getting off the new bike onto my bike
back onto
to ride
something.
home. Yeah.
Because you don't have that, like... anticipation of it being novel. Probably you're like, oh, what's this going to feel like? So you're looking for it. Whereas when you get back on your old bike, you're like, you don't expect it to feel weird.
I'm waiting for the familiar and it doesn't feel familiar.
Yeah.
No, it's really odd. So yeah, getting on mine in particular, so it's probably useful to sort of talk about bikes in comparison to what you're riding there on half the time.
Yeah.
So getting on mine, it felt like, and it's not, but a full-on sports bike. Like I felt like I was over the tank on mine, which I'm not.
Well,
but
get
the
this
difference in comparison to sitting upright bolt upright on a flat tracker to go into that was huge.